Hi, Gene here with Today's Thought. And today's Thought's going to be another installment in a series I've been doing, an occasional series, though I seem to be doing these installments more often lately because it's happening more often lately. But traditionally, Democrat voters, certain ethnic groups, switching over to the Republicans, or, well, I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to see going forward whether it's people switching to the Republican Party or if they're just switching, voting for Trump in this election. Because love Trump or hate him, you have to admit there is something special about him that causes his personality that causes him to attract people who would not traditionally vote for Republicans. He's making a big difference among Jews, Hispanics, and blacks. That's undeniable. Now, whether that carries over to the Republican Party, we'll have to see going forward. It would depend on large part, well, number one, whether Trump wins and gets another term, and number two, what he does in that second term, if he gets one, and number three, how well what he does works out for these specific groups, and see if they'll stay with the Republican Party. I'm hopeful that they will, but speaking as somebody who left I'm an independent, but I vote usually with the Republicans, and I left the Democratic Party way back in 1980. Anyways, I'm going to show you a video now. This is going to be a Jewish voter, and this is going to be a Jewish voter in Pennsylvania, which is one reason why this is especially interesting and why I want to share it, because Pennsylvania I think it has a pretty good sized Jewish population, but the main thing is that, well, we have 7 swing states, and among these 7 swing states, the most important one is turning out to be, according to the polls, Pennsylvania. To put it another way, if Trump loses Pennsylvania, he can still win. There are paths for him to win. But if he wins Pennsylvania, then the election, according to the polls today, I mean, they could change the election is over, that there's no way that Kamala Harris can win if she does not win Pennsylvania. She needs Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. She needs all those 3 states. And actually, a recent poll I saw showed Trump had 1 point in Michigan. So it's only one poll, but if that were to hold, then Pennsylvania wouldn't even matter. Harris would almost certainly lose. But I want to stick with Pennsylvania today because that is definitely a pivotal state, very, very important. And my understanding is that I read somewhere that if you watch, that it's almost impossible to watch TV in Pennsylvania. Somebody complained, maybe jokingly, that there are so many political ads from both parties on the airwaves, it's impossible that they can't enjoy watching TV because they can keep getting hit with these political ads. I don't live in Pennsylvania, I'm in Tennessee, so I'm not, well, that's one of the disadvantages of living in Tennessee because that is such a solidly red state. I don't get to see a lot of these ads unless an article mentions them and then embeds a video. So anyways, so this is a Jewish Democrat in Pennsylvania, and I'm showing the video because, well, number one, again, because it's Pennsylvania, but also his reasoning, why he's doing it. Now, I'm going to show you a tape now, the video. You're going to see him. I linked to the article that contains the video. That matters if you're interested in what you hear, because it's about a 5.5 minute video. I'm just going to show you a short section from it. I'm not going to put the whole 5 minutes on there, but if you like that, then and want to hear more of the entire video, you can go to this article, and then there's a link. Well, you don't even need a link. You go to the article, and the video is right there in the article. So anyways, here he is, Jewish voter in Pennsylvania, explaining why he supports Trump.
And there are some that still say things like, I would never vote for a Republican. I would never vote for Donald Trump. They're worried about what happened on January 6th, which is insanity to me, because they're not worried about what happens in the country every single day, which is 10 times worse than January 6th. And again, if you are a Jew and you are worried and not worried about your literal existence, then I don't know what else to tell you. This guy proved, President Trump proved that he stood with the Jews. He stood with the Israelis. I just came back from Israel, Dana. Every single Israeli that I met, and I know a lot of them, has said to me, please vote for Donald Trump. Please vote for Donald Trump. Every single solitary one.
What do you think of the reporting that I didn't see the full context. He might have said it in jest that he will, if he doesn't win, the Jews would be at fault.
Listen, there'd be a lot of people at fault.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit tongue in cheek. Right.
President says Trump says a lot of things, but I would ask you this question, Dana. You know, a lot of people like you, great reporters, often ask, are you better off today than you were 4 years ago? I would phrase that question differently. Who is better off 4 years ago than they were today? And you know who is? The mullahs in Iran, the Chinese, the North Koreans. They're much better off. And I don't want to live in a world that the mullahs wake up happy every day. I don't want to wake up in a world that capitulates to Iran, who is the greatest sponsor of terror in the world. The Abraham Accords prove that there is a deal on the table, and that's through economic cooperation, through the great Sunni Arab countries. The next one to come in should be Saudi Arabia. Could you imagine the transformation that would happen with Israel and Saudi Arabia making a deal together?
I actually can't imagine it. I can't imagine it because I think it was going to happen. Hey, I'll tell you what, Steve, I'd love to stay in touch with you. And my greatest wish is that I would have been on your text thread when the pager started exploding, because I think that would have been some good content.
We could make that happen. Can I leave you with one last thing that I tell all my Jewish friends? There is no prize for being on the last train to Auschwitz.
No. Indeed. Thank you, Steve. Let's stay in touch.
Thank you, Dana.
That's my thought for today. Thanks for stopping by. If you could subscribe, that would really be great. Comments always welcome in the comment section below the video. Share this video with anyone you think would benefit from it. But most of all, come back and see me again. I would love to see all of you again. And until I do see all of you again, bye.